Garlic is one of those crops that looks simple on the surface. You take a clove, stick it in the ground, and wait for the bulb to form. Yet season after season, many gardeners end up with tiny heads, split bulbs, or plants that never mature properly. It's not because garlic is difficult, it's because garlic has specific needs that most growers overlook. Once you understand the timing, soil conditions, and the right way to feed garlic, you'll see why so many gardeners fall short, and how you can finally harvest big, tight, beautiful bulbs. The biggest mistake is planting garlic at the wrong time. Garlic is not a spring crop, yet many gardeners treat it like one. Planting cloves in spring almost guarantees disappointment because garlic needs a long cold period, what's called vernalization, to trigger bulb formation. Without enough weeks of cool soil, garlic won't divide into proper cloves, and you'll end up with onion-like rounds instead of full heads. The solution is simple. Plant in fall. In most regions that means 4 to 6 weeks before the ground freezes. The cloves have just enough time to send down roots, settle in, and then go dormant over winter. When spring comes, they're ready to grow aggressively. If you live in a warmer climate where the soil rarely freezes, you can still grow garlic successfully. Choose softneck varieties and refrigerate the cloves for 3 to 4 weeks before planting. This artificial chilling mimics winter and gives the plants the cue they need to bulb later in the season. Garlic fails in poor or compacted soil. Another common reason for disappointing garlic harvest is planting into heavy, compacted, or low-fertility soil. Garlic has shallow roots and needs loose, well-drained conditions to swell properly. If the soil is clay-heavy or crusted, bulbs simply cannot expand. Many gardeners make the mistake of tucking garlic into whatever free space is available, often the edge of a bed that hasn't been prepared. The result is undersized bulbs. To fix this, garlic should be grown in rich, friable soil with plenty of organic matter. A simple ratio that works well is mixing 2 parts compost with 1 part garden soil, and working that into the top 8 inches of your bed. You don't need deep fertility, but you do need even moisture and space for the cloves to breathe. Raised beds or rows with added organic matter are perfect. In wet climates, ridging the soil 4 inches higher than the path helps prevent rot by improving drainage. Garlic suffers when spacing and depth are wrong. Planting garlic too shallow or too close together is another silent crop killer. Shallow cloves may heave out of the ground during winter freezes, leaving them exposed and stunted. Crowded cloves force bulbs to compete for nutrients, producing small heads. A good rule of thumb is to plant cloves 3 inches deep with the pointed side up, and space them 4 to 6 inches apart in rows 8 to 10 inches wide. That spacing allows each bulb to form without competition while still giving you efficient use of bed space. Mulching after planting is essential. A 3-inch layer of straw, shredded leaves, or even dried grass clippings protects the cloves from temperature swings, conserves moisture, and keeps weeds from taking over in spring. Unlike many crops, garlic does not like fighting weeds, and any competition reduces bulb size dramatically. Garlic needs steady nutrition at the right times. Many gardeners also fail by either underfeeding or feeding garlic at the wrong stage. Garlic has 2 main nutrient demands: nitrogen early for leafy growth and potassium later for bulb development. If you skip the early nitrogen, the plants will be weak and unable to support large bulbs. If you only feed late, you'll have plenty of green leaves but little bulb swelling. A practical approach is to side dress garlic with a balanced organic fertilizer in early spring, right as the shoots appear. Something around a 10-10-10 ratio works well at a rate of 1 tablespoon per square foot, scratched lightly into the soil. About a month later, add another side dressing, but this time focus on potassium and phosphorus, which can be supplied by wood ash or bone meal. This shift ensures the energy of the plant moves from leaves into the forming bulb. Garlic does not want extremes in watering. Too little water during the early growth phase means weak leaves and underdeveloped bulbs. Too much water, especially as the bulbs mature, invites rot. The trick is to water deeply but not constantly. 1 inch of water per week, whether from rain or irrigation, is a reliable target through spring and early summer. As soon as the lower leaves begin to yellow, usually 2 to 3 weeks before harvest, cut back on water entirely. This drying period allows the wrappers around the bulb to firm up and gives you the papery skins that help garlic cure and store well. Harvesting and curing mistakes waste a good crop. Pulling garlic too early leaves small, watery bulbs. Waiting too long makes the wrappers split and reduces storage life. The right moment is when about half the leaves have turned yellow and half remain green. At this stage, the bulbs are fully formed but still tightly wrapped. Use a fork to gently lift the bulbs rather than pulling by hand, which can tear the stems. After harvest, cure the bulbs in a shaded, airy spot for 2 to 3 weeks. Proper curing concentrates flavor and toughens the skins for long storage. Hanging them in bundles or spreading them out on a mesh rack both work. Once cured, trim the roots and tops and store garlic in a cool, dry place. Done properly, a fall harvest can feed you all the way to the next planting season. Growing garlic successfully is about timing, soil, and discipline. Garlic isn't tricky, but it does demand attention to detail. Planting in fall, preparing loose fertile soil, spacing and mulching correctly, feeding at the right stages and harvesting on time are the keys to breaking the cycle of small or failed bulbs. When you put these steps together, you'll move from frustration to abundance, with garlic that matches or even beats what you see at the market. If you've been struggling with garlic, now you know why most gardeners fail, and how simple it is to fix the mistakes. Take these lessons into your next planting season and watch your beds transform into rows of strong, uniform plants that deliver fat, flavorful bulbs. For more practical soil-first guides that tackle the crops gardeners often struggle with, make sure to subscribe to Soil Doctor and share this guide with others who want to finally succeed with garlic. Together we can grow smarter and harvest better.